Hey everybody, this is Jordan Machado, aspiring biologist and hopefully a future herpetologist. Today we're actually going to be sexing some babies. Yay! I just want to start this with a disclaimer. Don't do this on your own. You need to have practice. I had someone show me how to do it before I ever did it on my own. I will let you know what to do if you were to ever attempt to do it, but try to learn from someone physically. It is very different feeling this and doing it yourself. That's my disclaimer. Don't do this. I've had practice. Let's get into it. This is our snow clutch. This is going to be exciting. So this is what I'll usually do when I first get babies. I'll just put I have a little masking tape and I put little lines that represent how many meals they've had. And I only really let them leave home once they've had at least 8 to 10 meals because the chances of them thriving are significantly higher after that. First, we're gonna just visually tail sex, so we'll check all 3 methods of sexing. So visually tail sexing, this does look like a female. So females will usually have very short stubby tails. She's musking right now, but you see she has a very tiny short little stubby tail. So I do think this is gonna be a female. I'm gonna try to pop her and see if any hemipenes come out. The chances of that happening are slim, just given how tiny her little tail is. And then I'm just gonna verify that with a probe. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable probing hognoses, but I have had enough practice and I do have very small tools for it. So to pop, you just wanna gently put pressure here near the cloaca, and then you carefully apply pressure onto the bottom of the tail and you roll upwards. So right now, usually when it's a male, you'll see 2 little antenna looking thing. These just look like her jiggly bits. So just a nice little female. But because females are very important to make sure you know for sure you have a female, I will also be probing. So for that, you're gonna need some hand sanitizer, you're going to need some mineral oil, and you're gonna need some very small probes. I do have a giant probing kit. I wish I remembered what brand this probing kit was from, but as you can see, they're very small. They are extremely tiny. So for hognose babies, I'm gonna be using the smallest one, which is this one over here in that corner. And it does have a rounded tip. It's not like the ballpoint one, but it does have a round tip so that it won't hurt her. I'm just gonna essentially show you guys what that looks like. I've found that I get a much better grip and control when I put the little loop through my finger. So then I can kind of control this end with these fingers over here. You're gonna wanna sanitize, so you're just gonna gently put some hand sanitizer. And this is just to prevent cross-contamination from different snakes, because I do use the probe for different noodles. And you got some paper towel, because I don't want this to be soaked and drenched in hand sanitizer. So dry that off, and we're gonna go ahead and take our mineral oil. Going to gently dip it into here so you see it's around the edges, and I still have some mineral oil on this, and you don't really want to let those excess drips go through. So for the probing, the easiest way I have found is to kind of just gently hold them here. And you want to have a small grip here on their tail and then a small grip here above their body. And thankfully they have very defined cloacas. So you just want to gently, ever so slightly, push this upper scale up a little bit, and then you gently push the probe inside. And I have already met resistance, and it has not gone in a single, it went in like 1 scale. So that kind of does confirm that she is a female. So females will usually go in only 1 or 2 scales, whereas males will go in a lot more. I have never had a male go in just a few scales. The only times that has occurred is if the probe was too big, in which case this is a really good sized probe. So yay, we have a cute little girl. And that's number 1 of 10 that we have to be sexing. So onwards to the next. We're gonna go ahead and do this little albino. Also has had 2 meals. This albino actually already has a home, and I am quite certain that it is a female. But again, always good to verify. You can even see as she's flattening out, you can see how tiny her tail is compared to the rest of her body. So her tail starts like right here. That's all of her tail. She's got a little bit of an attitude. Oh, excuse me. So since we just used this, again, gonna want to sanitize it. Squeaky squeak, the rubby dub, and then mineral oil. But let's actually do the other 2 methods first. Show what that looks like. All right, pretty girl. I'm pretty sure you're a girl. All right, so this is the tail view. As you can see, she's got like a slightly longer tail, but it is still very triangle shaped. And by that, I mean that pretty much right after the cloaca, it starts to taper. And by taper, I mean it gets thinner. So it is noticeably a triangle shape. So that does lead me to believe this is a female, but we're gonna go ahead and verify because I've got a pretty good success rate in making sure people get the right sex hognoses. So we'll keep going, and they have all been very okay. So again, popping, you wanna put pressure here. You wanna start towards the bottom of the tail. Don't pull, you're just holding onto it. Then you put pressure and roll up. I got a little bit of urates here, but as you can see, there are no little antennas popping out. So she did pop female. And now we're gonna go ahead and probe just to be 100% certain. Some mineral oil. I try to give them a little bit of support by just letting them noodle around over there. So first I just rub this a little bit to help it get lubed up. Then you just gently go underneath the scale and inside. And again, very little entrance. I can see that it's going in, and it only went in about like 1.5 scales. It kind of reached the second one, but if it was a male, it would have gone in much further. And as you can see, she's okay, she's fine, she's tongue flicking, she wasn't injured in any way, there was no blood. And that's the importance of knowing how much to push, because if you don't know that it's a female, you might actually hurt her by pushing too much. Excuse you. So essentially, as soon as you feel any resistance, that's gonna be your sign to stop. So yay, we got another girl, which is awesome because your future home wants you to be a girl. So yay, a cute little albino girl. I'm actually pretty certain that both of the albinos are females. So this is this little one. We'll need to come up with some names later. We still got 8 more to go, but I have another one next to me. And this is the only snow that hatched. I do think that it is a male. He actually hasn't taken a meal for us yet, but I usually start offering food pretty early, just in case they eat. It's usually gonna be a feeding day, and I'll just offer to see if they're interested, and usually there are a few hognoses that are pretty interested in the food. So it's just him and one other one that haven't eaten yet. Everybody else is eating, so I'll soon start trying other methods. I'll try offering live and seeing how that goes. All right, so we got this nice and lubed up. Gonna leave that here, sanitize my own hands real quick, just because that last girl really did musk. So let's start with the visual tails. So if you look at him, he does have a longer tail, but most importantly, you can see that it's not really triangle shaped. Yes, I know, you're feeling so threatened right now. It maintains that thickness. It doesn't really start tapering until about here, and I do believe that's because this is a male. So chances are when I go to pop him, we're gonna get little hemipenes. So tail length and shape would say male. So let's see if I am correct. Okay, so we wanna go here, pressure, and you wanna be very gentle about this. Oh, and there we go. You see that little bump that was starting to, oh, excuse you, that's gross. So that little bump that was kind of starting to protrude. I'm not always great at sexing them super much. He just squirted all over me. But that did actually have the tiny little antenna. I'll show you better with some of the other males, but just to be certain, we're gonna go ahead and probe him, and I can show you guys the difference between how deep a probe goes when it's a male versus a female. So just gonna go ahead, and I already sanitized this, get some more mineral oil. Nice and comfy, nice and slippery. Hey baby, oh, so sad, so sorry. I know you're not gonna like this, you usually don't. I got a good grip here. Gently put that over there. He's not super happy about this. We wanna push past the cloacal scale so that we can just kind of go in. Now, he's making this a little complicated because he keeps moving around. There we go. As you can see, this went in pretty deep. It went in this much. That's definitely a male. Wasn't able to get full expression hemipenes out, but 100% a male. So all of the females, it went in like this much. Like barely anything at all. It makes you wonder if you're even putting it in. But this one did go in all the way. Well, not all the way, but very, very deep. So that's 100% without a doubt a boy. That is a little boy snow. And we actually think we might be keeping him. We're still trying to decide. It's really hard because we need more snow males. We have a bunch of really awesome snow producing females, but not a ton of males. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this as a boy. All right, next batch of 3. Let's do this. Got this little adorable normal. Has not had a meal yet. I didn't really look at too much at the normals, but let's take a look at this guy. Oh yeah, that's a boy. You see how long his tail is? And if you notice the shape, it keeps that thickness even here in the beginning, and it keeps kind of stretching. Oh, don't look at me like you know what's going on. So this is definitely a boy tail, but again, visual sexing is not 100% all the time, which is why there are so many other methods. So I'm gonna see if I can get some hemipenes here for you. Okay, there we go. Got 2 tiny little antennas. You see how it kind of gently protrudes? Not the best at popping, which is why I also like probing, because that's the harder one anyways, and it's more accurate. I know, sorry buddy. You're definitely a boy though, so we're just gonna show what probing a boy looks like again. Hi buddy. Oh, I know, you guys do not like it. To be fair, I wouldn't like it either. Got the good angle here. Gonna get some gentle lube in that situation. Ah, you're so twisty, turny. Let go. Okay, so I'm gonna want to go underneath the scale. He keeps moving and making this a little harder. There we go. And oh, there we go. And that is definitely a boy. Yeah, so that went in down to like here. I actually just stopped pushing because I got enough confirmation that this is indeed a little man. What a cute little man. So he will be looking for a home. Congratulations, little buddy. Don't even know what to name you. What should we name him? Well, if you guys have any ideas, or if you can imagine his little personality, he's so cute. Just checking us out. All right, little boy. We're taking too long. Haven't eaten your first meal yet. All right, and then just calm him. Good practice. Get this sanitized. Dry this up. Sanitize my own hand. This next one is also a little normal, but this one has had 2 meals already. Oh, whoops, that might have potentially done something to the mic. All right, little one, what are you? What do you have inside your tail? Aw, man, you are very zoomy. Okay, moment of truth. So, this is a tricky one. Before you actually get the answer, why don't you take a guess and let me know in the comments below. And after you do that, we'll find out. So my tail sexing guess is actually gonna be that this is female, because as soon as it passes the cloacal scale here, it starts thinning out very quickly. So even though this is a long-ish tail, it is shaped very feminine-like. So let's find out. Yeah. Oh, excuse you. When we do squeeze, these are not little antennas. They're just kind of, they're fleshy bits. So they're 2 little bumps, but you can kind of look into her cloaca a little more. But the real moment of truth will be with the probing. We got this nice and sanitized. Now we just gotta go ahead and get it in some mineral oil. So I do believe this is a female, but let's find out. Yeah, you have a very girly tail, pretty thing. Oh, I know. All right, get some lube on that area. Okay, and we're gonna just go beneath the scale and inside. Yep, that's a girl. Barely went in. So congratulations, you're a little girl. Did you know that? Oh, you're so special. I love you. Good job, pretty girl. Oh, she is very skittish though. All over the place. You're very zoomy, pretty girl. All right. And that is one female normal het snow. Here we've got our second xanthic, who is being a spicy boy. He's very chunky. I am pretty sure it's a boy. We'll find out. As you can see, very chunky thing. Chonk. But I will also show you how masculine of a tail he has. He's playing flat right now. What do you guys think? Is that a boy? Boy tail? Yeah, I think so too. So let's go ahead. Gentle pressure. Oh, there we go. We saw a little bit of the hemipene. There you go. That is a hemipene right there. The big antenna looking thing. When you see a hemipene through popping, and you in general, if the vet sees it, then that's pretty much 100% certainty this is male. Given that I saw his hemipene, I'm not actually gonna probe him as well because why would I do that to him? If you're a girl, you've gotta verify, even if you have a tiny short tail, but this is 100% guaranteed, definitely a male. So that means we've got one boy exanthic and one girl exanthic. Absolutely stunning, both of them. They're actually both really good eaters too, which was surprising and very welcome. Good job, buddy. Still got a few more to go. Now on to this little cutie patootie. 3 meals, pretty good. Hi. Aw, you cute. Take a look at your goods. All right, so this does look like a decently length tail. However, very fast taper, so I do believe this is gonna be a female. So let's see if I can get any hemipenes out of this. Unlikely, but we'll find out. Oh, excuse me. Oh, and I had a feeling that was gonna happen. So just that white fleshiness is usually female. And time to get that probe ready. It's better to be safe than sorry, especially with females, because people are usually buying females because they specifically want a female. So kind of a bummer if they end up getting a male, which has happened. I have actually purchased females that when I went to probe were actually males. All right, let's try to get you better tail angle. All right, okay, we're gonna want to gently push past the scale and then inside. Yep, that's female fleshy goodness. You can even see it poking at that second scale. All right, you a girl. Congratulations, little one. Sometimes if you're really in doubt, you can check both sides of the tail, since there will usually, males will have 2 hemipene pockets. And you know, sometimes you might have just missed one, but given that it was already a pretty female tail, I am pretty confident that this is another little girl. Here we got the other albino, which I do believe is female. Let's go ahead and check out her tail first. Hi, sweetie. Oh, so angry. All right, so pretty female looking tail, as you can see. You kind of need to see it straight. So like this, straight, very tapery, very triangular. She's not super happy with the way I'm holding her right now, but she did that to herself. All right, so let's see. Nope, that looks pretty female. Hi, mama. I'm sorry. That probably wasn't comfortable. I know. All right, it's already sanitized. So now I just gotta go ahead and grabbing from the lower third of the body does make it a little bit easier. So I have this escaping me right now. There we go. Push up gently on coico scale and... Oh, I'm sorry, mama. All right, yes, you are a girl. Just like I told you, it only went in 1 to 2 scales. It was like about 2 scales, and then you were very uncomfortable. Thank you for letting me do that. I appreciate it. And that is another female. We're almost done. Just 2 more to go. Imagine if people didn't use protection when you're like going to the doctor and they just sanitized it, called it good enough. Be happy you're not human, little one. I think, looking at it from above, I'm gonna guess male, but we'll find out. I'm actually kind of torn on this one. See, because I would say male by length, but the shape is really female. So, I don't know. Let's find out. Oh. Okay, that's popping female. So this is definitely one that is the reason I probe, because some of them, really easy to tell. Others, not so much. We're just gonna want to gently push that out of the way so that we can go in. Yeah, that was female, but given the nature of this particular tail, I'm gonna do the other side as well. Yep, that is indeed a girl. So this, my friends, is why probing is important. And why you can't always go by tail length, because this is a decently long tail. Like, looking at that length, it's pretty big. I haven't counted the scales, but to be fair, I have found scale count to be sometimes inaccurate. But yeah, look at that. Pretty decently long tail. I mean, when she curls it up, it becomes less long, but something that could confuse someone. Which is why I actually take the time to very carefully and gently probe them once they've been out of the egg for a few weeks, just to verify, because my guess would have been male. So I would have given a female to someone that was interested in a male. All right, 1 more to go. So here's our last little baby. Another little normal. We got 5 normals from this clutch. Odds were not in our favor, but they're all beautiful and healthy, and honestly, that's all that I could ask for. I'm gonna guess male. Oh yeah, that is a boy tail. Look at that. So you see how the taper is not nearly as noticeable. Even though it's nice and long, it stays kind of thick. It's very, very slow and gradual, so I do believe this is a male. We'll find out through popping. If that doesn't work, we'll go ahead and do probing. Oh. Darn. Might have missed it. Sorry, little guy. Other snakes usually bite me when I'm doing this. I could have sworn I saw a tiny little hemipene, but I don't know, maybe this is a female. Maybe I'm wrong. Shoot, I'm kind of lost. I have no idea. Shape looked kind of male, but then again, I guess it was kind of triangular. Where do you think you're going? Yeah? Gonna make a run for it? Zoom! No, I've been caught. Where do you think you're going? You're not going anywhere. Look at that cute little belly. Adorable. All right, got nice mineral oil. And you tried to escape again? You're a little Houdini, aren't you? Get to the end. Okay. I want to get that nice and relaxed. See, this is a boy. See, you are a boy. I'm just really bad at popping. Let's even try the other side. Yeah, that's a boy. Definitely a boy. Went in this much. Okay, so I was right. You are a boy. You have a boy tail, but you did not want to show me your peepees. All right, well, guys, that is everybody. That's everybody from our Snow X Het Snow clutch. They're pride little babies. I'm very happy with them. They're so adorable and so stinking cute. And we'll definitely have another one for our Conda clutch. Woo! Stay snakeful.